Good morning. This is Danny with Danny's Luxury Cruise Vacations, an independent affiliate of the Avoya Travel Network. And we have the lovely Jackie today from Uniworld Boutique River Cruises, an amazing all-inclusive river cruise company. They absolutely do an amazing job. And today we're going to talk about castles along the Rhine, an amazing cruise that they offer. And Jackie has personally done that cruise, and she's going to tell us all about it. So here we go. Thank you for being here, Jackie.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. Yeah, the Castles Along the Rhine is it's a fantastic itinerary. I was fortunate to travel this last year with my husband and my two teenagers. So for anyone who's thinking about traveling with their family, with teenage kids in particular, it's a fantastic itinerary. My kids had a wonderful time. It was their first trip to Europe, and we just had a great time.
Were there other kids on board for them to, if they wanted to meet, or was it just pretty much a family thing?
There weren't, but we went early in the season. We went the last week of March into April. So it
Okay.
happened to coincide with our school district school vacation. So it worked out great for us, but it wasn't a time of year that we would normally have kids on board. It's good to know, though, that in the summertime, when most kids and families travel, kids are out of school, we do have what we call our generations dates. And those are designated dates where we have a youth host on board. There are some river cruise lines out there that don't allow children at all. So we do allow children ages 4 and up. And so with the youth host program, with our generations program, we have activities on board and arts and crafts, and you might be able to take a cooking class with the chef on board the ship, which is kind of neat. Um, but like I said, with my kids, they're a little bit older, so a lot of the kids program stuff that we have might have been a little bit too young for them. So it worked out great in our situation for our family. What I will tell you though is that on the sailing that I was on, there was a lot of multi-generational families where it looked like maybe grandparents and adult kids and even adult grandchildren. I saw two or three small groups like that, and that's very common on our itineraries. And I thought if you had multi-generational that had teenagers, this would be a perfect way for them to travel. They could have a lot of independence on a river cruise. The nice thing is about on the different ports of call, you can easily walk on and off our boats and easily get into town and explore at your own and come right back. So it's very accessible.
So tell us a little bit about the itinerary and some of the amazing places that you visited.
Oh, yes, I'm happy to do so. First of all, I want to say too that the ship that we use, one of the ships we use is the SS Antoinette, which is a beautiful, beautiful ship. Not only did I sail on that last year in this itinerary, but we just had our international sales meeting a few months ago, and I got to go back and stay on the ship again. So the Antoinette is a beautiful, beautiful ship. But what we did is we started the itinerary in Basel, Switzerland, and then we went north up to Amsterdam. It's a 7-day cruise. And the first few days of the cruise, we were going back and forth between France and Germany. So we were in that Alsace region of France that has a great intermingling of the cultures and the history because over the centuries, there were different times where they were under German rule and different times they were under French rule. So it was a really interesting combination of cultures, a melding of architecture and cultures. And it was really beautiful. And it was very interesting. We learned a lot. We did a lot of walking tours in these beautiful, quaint little towns and villages. My daughter described it. She thought it looked beautiful. It reminded her of the Beauty and the Beast movie. You know, the beautiful cobblestone streets and the little houses. That's what it really looks like in real life. And what was nice is that we were very early in the season, and the locals were so eager to have tourists back visiting their community, and they were very proud of their town and to show it off. So it was wonderful. We got to tour beautiful castles, cathedrals. There was a lot of history that they shared with us. Incredible shopping for little more knickknacks and things like that as far as the shopping, and wonderful food. Everywhere we stopped, we'd stop and get whatever the local pastry was or the local treat. So we really enjoyed that part of it. And then as we went further up the Rhine, sort of mid cruise, you had a couple afternoons where it was just scenic cruising. And although the weather was chilly because it was early in the season, what was nice is that on Uniworld, they had these beautiful heavy Uniworld blankets. So we could still be up on deck doing the sightseeing, getting incredible pictures. Even if it was a little chilly, they put these warm blankets on us. They'd come around and serve either hot coffee or hot chocolate with a little bit of cream de mint in it, which was something I'd never tried, but it was wonderful. And what's nice is that we had the cruise director on board with us pointing out as we were cruising and taking great pictures. he was there to sort of, act as our guide and say, okay, this is this castle. It was built at this time frame, and he kind of went over the history with us. So it made it really, really interesting, and the scenery was just beautiful. So even during the day, it was gorgeous, but even at night, as the sun was setting and the town's lights were coming on, you'd pass these really quaint, beautiful, picturesque villages and little cathedrals, and it was just very, very pretty scenic cruising. And then we got into uh, Cologne, Germany, which is a bigger city, which is a beautiful, beautiful city. And the day we were there, earlier in the week, it had been in the 70s and even almost 80s, and it was snowing that day. So that was really, really exciting. I'm from Southern California, so getting to see snow is a real treat, and my kids loved it. So that was fantastic. But what I liked is that there were so many different types of places that we were able to visit. Um, and Cologne was certainly much more of a bigger cosmopolitan type city. There were incredible museums that we went to, really nice high-end shopping. So if you have clients that are interested in going to Harrods and places like that, there's some really neat shopping there. But I have to say, and I'm sorry to ramble on, and you can stop me if you need to.
Oh, that's fine. You're doing great.
Okay, my favorite shore excursion of the whole trip was on, I think it was day 2 or day 3, in one of these little teeny towns in Germany. And it was a vinegar tasting, which probably sounds strange and different. And I didn't know what to make of it. But I had friends who worked for Uniworld who said, make sure you don't miss the vinegar tasting. It's incredible. So we got there not really knowing what to expect. And it was very much like a winery. It was a family run business that had been handed down through several generations. It was a lovely family who owned this place. And it's kind of like one of these hidden gems. Part of when you travel with Uniworld and really any of the travel corporation is that we have these partnerships with places and people that are a little bit off the beaten path. And I think that's what made it really enjoyable. So we get to the vinegar tasting, and they take us on a tour of the basement where they create the vinegar. What they do is they put different scents and different flavors into all these different vinegars, and then they let it sit in these big oak barrels, just like wine would sit for several years to ferment and to get its wonderful, beautiful taste. And so they took us through this incredible tour. And then at the end, we had a vinegar tasting where they serve it in these beautiful little aperitif crystal glasses. And we tried 5 different vinegars. They were delicious and all very, very different. And it was just very enjoyable and something that I never had heard of or would have expected. And then at the end of the day tour, you end up in their beautiful gift shop. And it was just incredible. They had all sorts of beautiful gifts, handmade gifts. And it was nice because you felt like you were helping out the community. So
Mhm.
of course, all of us came home with, $100 worth of vinegar, which was wonderful. And I'm still using it and I still love it. It's wonderful. So it's funny, the people that I've talked to that have been on that tour, almost everyone talks about castles on the Rhine. Did you do the vinegar? And I say yes. And didn't you love it? It was such a fun day, and it was a really interesting experience.
Cool. That sounds very cool. Now, as far as the castles, did you get to go into any castles while you were
Oh,
on?
yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, we tore them. And there was one in particular that was, it's amazing that it's still standing. It's been there hundreds of years, and it's survived wars and earthquakes and every possible thing you could throw at it. But it was really neat because they took us through and they have it kind of set up like it would have been 100 years ago. And they give us, they went in detail, and they give us a fantastic tour, and they showed us all the ammunition and the arms that they used to protect the fortress, and how people would eat. And they do like a little demonstration of what the food would be like, what the dining situation would be like, what the outhouses even looked like, and how they did it. And my kids, of course, thought that was hysterical. So it was just really fun and interesting. So you do get to tour a lot of the castles. And we also had 2 really incredible cathedral tours, they were beautiful, beautiful, very old churches with the incredible stained glass windows. And again, so much history there too. So it's a lot of castles, of course, castles along the Rhine, and a lot of beautiful cathedrals as well.
Now, as far as whether you're going, like you did Basel to Amsterdam, I'm sure you could do Amsterdam to Basel. You're doing the reverse as well. And
Exactly. Yep. It
yeah,
goes in both directions, so it depends on what date you want to travel, and it's basically the same spots, just reverse itinerary. So you're going to hit all the same fantastic places. And I would definitely point out too that it's a great itinerary if you want to do pre or post. So we have a pre on the beginning end if you want to go in a few days before the cruise leaves in Lucerne, Switzerland, which is a beautiful area. We didn't do it. We actually wound up stopping in London on our way over, which was wonderful too. That wasn't through Uniworld though. We just put that together on our own. But on the end, we did stay a couple days in Amsterdam because Amsterdam is again a wonderful, beautiful city. There's so much to do, so many museums. You can go see the Anne Frank house, the bicycles on the canals. It's just beautiful. So I would definitely recommend if you're going to take the time and go all the way over there, try to do a pre or post, or if you have the time and the wherewithal, do both pre and post.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you guys, not when you say the pre and the post, you do the hotel, the transfers, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, absolutely. Uniworld can take care of everything, make it very worry-free for you and for your clients, and it's super easy, and it's just a wonderful trip to see a lot of wonderful, very unique, different locations in Europe.
Well, Jackie, that was very insightful. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. And there's nothing better than firsthand experience. We all know how wonderful the product is, but when you've been there and you've done it, you've experienced it, it makes a whole world of difference.
It really does, and I have to tell you, I can't say enough about this cruise. It's like it's very sentimental to me. It was a very special time, and it's a beautiful ship, and it's a great time. The other things I wanted to say before I forget is we have incredible entertainment on board. So every night there were different people, different kinds of music and entertainment that came on board, which really added to it. It was really wonderful. And the other thing, in case I hadn't told you yet, Danny, we have a flash sale that started just today, and we have some really great last minute sailing. So there are some spring dates on this itinerary that start from 19.99 per person,
Oh, wow.
which for us is a really great deal. You got to remember when you book with Uniworld, we're all inclusive luxury, but truly all inclusive. So it is a great value. That's all your premium spirits, all your entertainment, all the tours that we offer. There's no fee for any of those extra tours that I was talking about. The vinegar, it's all included.
Nice.
So all those tours are, excuse me, all the tours are included, the premium spirits, incredible fine dining that's really out of this world, and all the taxes and gratuities. So it's very worry free. So if you can take advantage of it, it's a great offer we have going on right now.
Beautiful, Jackie. And I did get the flyer, so thank you for that.
Good.
And I look forward to getting my clients on board your ship.
All
And
right.
again, thank you so much, Jackie.
Okay. Thank you, Danny.